What's up, guys? Y'all tell me if you can hear me. This is Whisper on a video here. Come at the ARAGON Grand Prix. Some Grand Prix of the season. Marquez dominating. No some pole position. Then he got the sprint race yesterday. He got a little bit of a less start, rubbing it out on the first on the grace pole, but then absolutely unscathed to get a win. 3 minutes to go. This is what we're looking forward. It's the ARAGON Grand Prix. Tie choice. Let's try to go all together on this commentary. This is the Racing by Abdu. Subscribe to the channel. Live commentary. Front row with Marquez with this medium tire on the front, a medium tire on the rear leg. Same for Alex Marquez and for Morbidelli and third position. Here we go again with the title openings. We're missing Ayogura. We are missing Luca Marini recovering from their own injuries that they've been through. There we go, live commentary here from ARAGON. The crew members are leaving the starting grid. Starting grid, this is Marquez in first position, Alex Marquez, Franco Morbidelli. Then in second row, Pecco Bagnaia, Pedro Acosta, Brad Binder with 2 KDMs on the second row. Adigan in seventh position, Maverick Vinales and Fabio Quartararo in ninth. Dijon Antonio with the VUR 46 per Tamina Ducati. 11th position for Joan Mir and 12th position for Joan Zarco, who was our winner at the French Grand Prix roughly 1 month ago. Here we go, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Live commentary, Racing by Abdul. Let's get going. The warm-up lap. Lights around. Let's get going. You'll tell me if you can hear me. The ARAGON Grand Prix, the track is long, 5 kilometers. The longest straight is almost nearly 1 kilometer, 950 meters. In 2024, it was a victory for Marquez, and the championship stands out as it is. Marquez with 27 points of lead over his brother and more than 90 over Pecco Bagnaia, who is, I think, except any kind of miracle or imparfait, he's going to be out of the contenders. And the total Grand Prix attendance, it is 112,633. Wow, wow, wow. Here we go at turn 15. On the downhill. Very, very, very tricky corner. Everybody actually goes, and here we go. In 16th, 17th, where there is the grandstand of Marc Marquez. Last winners here on the circuit, Marquez in 2024, 2022, Bastianini, 2021, Pecco Bagnaia, and 2020, Franco Morbidelli. 26 degrees air temperature, 50 degrees track tarmac temperature. And this is it, guys. This is it. Wow. Everybody's going back to their spots. engaging the rear and the front device. It's the Aragon Grand Prix. On the sprint race yesterday, we saw Marquez dominating the sprint. A really bad start. Second position for his brother, who took the lead actually for 5 laps. And then Firmino Aldeguer in third position. Struggling a lot, Pecco Bagnaia. Let's see what he can do today. The riders are ready. The engines are revving. It is the calm before the storm. The green light and the green flag is being waved. The red light goes out. Everybody's ready. It's lights out. And away we go. Good. Great start by Marquez. Really bad start by Alex. Pecco Bagnaia remains in third position. Fabio Quartararo goes on the inside. Firmino Aldeguer doesn't need the spot and doesn't need the good start. Marquez away at turn 2 and he's leading. And I tell you what, who had a great start? That was Brad Binder from 6th position, who had an amazing start, and he's already in 5th position. Marquez first, second Alex Marquez, third position for Pecco Bagnaia, and here we see at turn 5 Aldeguer getting an overtake down on Marco Morbidelli. He doesn't want to waste, and Pecco Bagnaia trying to nudge, trying to put the nose out on Alex Marquez, going down at turn 7. There we go, 8 corkscrew. Wow, right, left again. On the downhill, I tell you who had a good start. Who had it also Jack Miller, who's in 11th position. Joao Zarco in 14th position. Really messed it up at the beginning. And another rider who had the best start was Maverick Vinales, who started 8th, and he's already in 12th position. Here at turn 15, Mark managing. Everybody's tiptoeing in here. Marquez wants to put already a good gap between them. Here we go, 16th, 17th, and then we go to the second corkscrew with Marquez having an advantage already over his brother Alex Marquez. I tell you what, Joan Mir on the corkscrew gets the overtake down on Jack Miller. Let's see if the Yamaha, the Pecco having a look at Alex Marquez. But let's see if Jack Miller is going to answer back on Joan Mir, but I think the engine of the Honda is much faster than the Yamaha's one. So I would say to you that he kept the position. No, Miller got it back. But here we go to the front with Pedro Acosta trying an overtake on Pecco Bagnaia at turn 1. Pedro Acosta, clean, neat, deep, and getting there. Pecco Bagnaia gets back. The old switch ruling, and he gets back and he closes and shuts the door as soon as he saw Pedro Acosta gaining a sniff on that 3rd position. Behind him, Binder on the 5th position, and Di Giannantonio is in 8th position. Firmino Aldeguer really struggling over here to get the overtake done on Morbidelli, and this is making him lose a lot of time, wasting a lot of time, guys. Let's have a look at the other position. But Bezzecchi, who yesterday had an awesome start, he's right now in 15th position. Marquez. Oh, Pedro Acosta turn 15 on the downhill. That's dangerous. So easy to make a mistake. He doesn't. He keeps it tight. Turn right, and he gets the position, and he gets the overtake down on Pecco Bagnaia. So we've got the 2 Marquez who are pulling away and putting up a gap, and we've got Pedro Acosta who's just got the overtake down on Pecco Bagnaia. But let's see here, the Ducati ranging on the straight, which is one of the longest straights on the whole calendar. He's going to get a try. He's going to try and overtake. Pecco Bagnaia answers on Pedro Acosta. He's going to go wide. No, he doesn't. He keeps the position. He keeps the turn line, and he goes onto the main straight, keeping up and answering and bouncing back on Pedro Acosta. Being that there, trying to get a sniff and trying to get a cue on the position. And the fastest lap of the race was made by Franco Morbidelli with 1:47 and 8/10 of a second. Marquez already with a 6/10 of a second lead over his brother. Pedro Acosta had a really good pace actually over the whole weekend. The KTMs here already performing in a great way. A track, one of the few tracks that suits them And here we go with the both of them actually in fourth and in fifth position. Maverick Vinales had a really competitive pace, but he's struggling at the moment with the old same problems with the start. Here we go. I would say that the first 6 riders are pulling away. Aldeguer really struggling here. I don't understand why. Yesterday he had a really good race on the medium tire, and here right now for some tires that he tried already yesterday, really struggling a little bit, and there is a gap over a second between him and Morbidelli. It feels like right now he's the one who is slowing down the pace of the second pack and group. Here we go again with Pedro Acosta having none of it over Pecco Bagnaia, really close to it, because Pedro Acosta is ramping over here. The corkscrew, let's see if Pedro Acosta can get the slipstream, if he gets a good exit with a good attraction. He doesn't, because the Ducati GP25, the best bike by far on the grid, has a really strong engine, a really good top speed, and Pecco Bagnaia could keep and persevere their position. But here we go on the last left-hander with Pedro Acosta having a lot of traction, almost rear-ending Pecco Bagnaia. He's going to have a look at it, and simultaneously Morbidelli is having a look at Binder. It's a dual pass. Pedro Acosta goes wide. Pecco Bagnaia gets the position. Not the same for Franco Morbidelli and Binder, and Morbidelli gets the position on Brad Binder, and he goes up to 5th position. There we go with Pecco Bagnaia and Pedro Acosta battling it out. Pecco Bagnaia, you all know, guys, you all know that he's struggling always on a Saturday. Oh no, Morbidelli went wide at turn 5. He went wide, and Brad Binder gets the position back. That was something that Morbidelli shouldn't have done, because Brad Binder, we all know how it is a tough rider actually to overtake, and he's going to make it no easy for sure from now onwards for Morbidelli. But let's see here the mistake of Morbidelli. Yeah, he went wide. It felt to me like he didn't activate the gear. He didn't clutch in, and he went wide, like missing it out, a little bit of friction in, but he's still there. I tell you what, Aldeguer is really taking back the position, because he has eaten and chipped away 0.4 of a second, and he's only half a second away from Morbidelli. So for me, Aldeguer, who yesterday was in the sprint podium, he's getting by the position right now. And he's chipping away 0.7 of a second between him right now and the guy that in front of him, who is Morbidelli. But let's have a look at the whole standing, because the positions at the front look like pretty in a standing part, with Marquez leading over Alex Marquez and Pedro Acosta again. Pedro Acosta wanting and having any of it. He is really close to Pecco Bagnaia. I tell you what, I see really Pedro Acosta. I don't know if he's really faster than Pecco Bagnaia, or he just wants to get the position because he thinks that he's going to persevere it and he's going to balance it out later on. And he goes wide. He was almost ready ending it. Pedro Acosta is messing it up. He's not getting clean moves as we know him doing. We know Pedro Acosta, how really concise he is and how really accurate and precise he is on the braking. But in this overtake, he wasn't able to make a move. And Brad Binder, who is his teammate, who's had a really bad season thus far, is not having. He's having a great race actually, and he's pushing away out of it. And we have a new race record fastest lap with Marquez with a 1:37 and 357 thousandths of a second faster than the lap that he made himself 1 year ago. He had the corkscrew 10, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10. Long left-hander when we go up to the uphill on the turn 14 by Marquez. My impression right now, Marquez, is they're really tiptoeing. He is really good in the turning, but he's not trying to give a real whip on the bike. He's really not going onto the curb. He's not struggling. He is not pushing and trying to wear off the tires. Joan Mir, in the meantime, got the position back on Jack Miller, and Jack Miller, who sees his place right now threatened here by Maverick Vinales, who is taking the slipstream. Let's see if Maverick Vinales here on the last turn, he can pull a move. No, last of the breakers, Jack Miller. We know how tough it is to overtake the OC rider. He keeps and preserves the position. But here we go with the starting sprint lap when Maverick Vinales trying to get the slipstream. No, he doesn't. and he's pulling up, and Jack Miller keeps the position. An update on the Yamaha with Fabio Quartararo in 9th position, being threatened right now by Jack Miller, by Joan Mir, sorry guys. Jack Miller in 11th position, and Maverick Vinales gets at the exit. He goes wide. Jack Miller tries to get back. No, Maverick Vinales, very good move. Well done. Clear, neat. And Maverick Vinales trying to recover back after the awful start that he had, as he used us to have back in the day. I tell you what, here, Maverick Vinales has on the cards a top 10. If I'm not mistaken, it could be also a top 5. Marquez here, leading the group on the long left-hander. Really, Marquez is not really pushing much. You can see that he's playing with them all. He's really playing with them all. He's not struggling. He's pulling up, pick and place, pick up the bike, doesn't run on the curb. Everybody feels like they are really struggling, and they are pushing until the limit. The 2 KTMs, goes wide. Pecco Bagnaia, Pedro Acosta is right behind him. Let's talk about strategies right now. I see Morbidelli, after he tried an overtake on Brad Binder, he couldn't get any closer, and he's paying actually the price for that 2 laps that he made. 7th position for Aldeguer, who is getting closer and closer, and then Di Gianantonio with half a second away from Aldeguer. Fabio Quartararo, 7/10 of a second over Di Gianantonio, and Joan Mir, 3/10 of a second behind Quartararo. And I tell you what, Joan Mir really has to get some speed. Otherwise, behind him, the KTM or Maverick Vinales is going to get an overtake on him. The KTM right now is the fastest bike on the track, with Brad Binder right now, guys, having the fastest lap of the race on 7 laps. And here we go, somebody screaming out. And I'm going to look a little bit at the comeback that is having Marco Bezzecchi on 13th position right now. He was lapping on 45.5, on 48.5, and right now on 47.7. Like the top riders, really bad mistake by Bezzecchi yesterday. He was on a good lap, and he crashed, cutting close to the curb, touching with his shoulder, and crashing at that compromise. His sprint race and also the rest of today. I try to remember you guys all and remind you all that yesterday Bezzecchi was lapping the fastest of anybody else on the last laps of the sprint race. Such a shame, Bezzecchi, who won the last time out when we were at Silverstone in England. Of course, getting a big gift and a big Christmas present by Fabio Quartararo, his technical issue. But the Aprilia is getting competitive. Jorge Martin is at home. We are in Spain, not far away from Madrid, where he's actually living. So Jorge Martin, look closely, please, at the performance for Aprilia, and don't take any hectic decision out of the gut. I really feel that Marquez is pulling away, and this is going to be an amazing lap by Marquez, and it's been the fastest lap by Marquez of 1:47.2. Marquez said, okay, it's lap 8. I'm going to whip out, and he's whipped out, giving 0.5 of a second over his brother, who is in front of Pecco Bagnaia, Pedro Acosta, and Brad Binder. Right now, for you guys who had no opportunity to see it on the TV, I tell you, Marquez is pulling away right now, but there is a good, steady group from 2nd position until 5th, with Alex Marquez leading the group, Pecco Bagnaia, Pedro Acosta, and Brad Binder. Then there is a little bit of a gap to Banco Morbidelli, another second to Fermin Aldeguer, Di Gianantonio, Quartararo, Mir, and Vinales, who are battling out right now for the 8th position. Yeah, I get what you say. As Drobala GP said, see Yamaha and Aprilia Sef at 8 a.m. Yeah, you are right. They are pretty stuck. But I think this is not a really Yamaha track. And Fabio Quartararo is riding over the rim right now in 9th position. Jack Miller in 12th. Who is at the bottom? Of course, it's Oliveira and Alex Rins, who are doing really bad. And also Augusto Fernandez. I think the level of the Yamaha here right now, you can see it on Alex Rins, Augusto Fernandez. And here we go with Joan Mir, who got the overtake down and got the move down and moves up onto 9th position on Fabio Quartararo, who's struggling to struggle with the Yamaha, and we go with the straight because he shouldn't be a sitting duck. He's gonna be a sitting duck because the KTM engine is pulling out, and Maverick Vinales doesn't want to waste any time because on the car with the pace that he showed yesterday morning and also on Friday, he could aim here for a top 5. Everybody's not pushing out the front until the even 15 laps to go. Let's see here how Maverick Vinales is gonna get a move on Fabio Quartararo. Fabio Quartararo, one of the hardest riders to overtake. Yesterday, the two of them go really close with Maverick Vinales. When he needed to overtake and he had the chance on Fabio Quartararo, Q pushed him wide, and they both went on the track. No further doing on that, and the steward decided not to penalize and not to get any penalty to Maverick Vinales. But I see here right now that Maverick Vinales got dispatched and got rid of Fabio Quartararo, and he moves onto 10th position. And I said in front of him, Joao Mel with the first of the Yamaha and the Hondas and the first of the Japanese manufacturers. Alex Marquez here looks like he's slowing down everybody else. Pecco Bagnaia, who was nowhere yesterday and who was struggling to be in 10th position, I told you already with the tank, the problems that he's having on a Saturday, he's getting really close. And I think right now, on the tracks on Alex Marquez pulls away, heavy break by Pecco Bagnaia. He's going to go wide. No, he didn't go wide. He kept it straight. He kept it neat. He kept it tight. Pecco Bagnaia. Oh, guys, and I have to remind you all that yesterday, yellow flag on Section 3. I think there is a crash. Somebody crashed out. Somebody crashed out. Or had an issue. No, it was Joan Zarco, who was second position, who finished on the podium over the last 2 races. Joan Zarco, who was not on the group, who was not on the pace these 2 last weekends that we had in France, that we had here in Aragon. He wasn't on the rhythm. He couldn't find the right balance and the right setup with the bike. He was last yesterday, 12th, and today he has crashed out. I want to see the crash, guys, because I want to see how that unfolds. He had no failing with the rear of the tire, and I want to see how that's going to pan out. Set for the Honda LCR, we see rider his feet, is walking away. The latte, the suit is a little bit scratched and rubbered off. He made it safe and sound, so I think no major issues for him. We'll see him back tomorrow for the tests. I'm curious to see if Bastianini can follow Bezzecchi and complete a comeback together to then show the muscles as he always does at the end of the race. I don't know, Astrobale. You know how I feel about it. But yeah, right now you're right. Bezzecchi and Bastianini, they are close to each other, and Bezzecchi and Bastianini right now is 0.6 of a second away from Bezzecchi. I think right now is when we get on the ball, right? Is when we get into the game for Bastianini. After half of a race, we get on the momentum for him. Let's see if he's going to keep that momentum. And he is going to, over the last 3 races, he didn't do actually what I expected me to do, to overplay and to take full explosion, actually, of one of the curbs that he has. But I've got to say that if he has some pace, and I'll try to remind you all right now, guys, that this is a track in which 2022 Bastianini won over Pecco Bagnaia on that move at the last lap on turn 7. So let's see if he can follow him, but I think Bezzecchi is going to pull out because whatever he saw yesterday and on Friday, he had a really clean pace to stay minimum on the top 5. But let's see, nice cue as Drubale. We'll see how he's going to afford the Marquez here pulling away again. It is by now 1.5 seconds of distance over his brother. Marquez is not really struggling. He's not struggling at all. He's not pushing to the limit. You see, when Marquez pushes to the limit, he's really sweeping out and he's linking the back left and right, straight and forward, and he's not doing it at the moment. So it means that he's got everything under control and he doesn't want to overdo. He's not overdoing. He's trying to keep the gap composed. He's trying to keep the gap controlled over his brother, and Pecco Bagnaia, who really had 2 laps ago an attempt over Alex Marquez, is still close. Alex Marquez managing here. I don't know if he's going to struggle, but if we're going to see a first drop, we are going to see it pretty close. You know who's disappointing me right now in the race? It is Fermin Aldeguer, because what he showed yesterday, of course, he was on a different tire compound, but from after what we saw yesterday, I thought that he could do any better. He's not doing any better. He's doing actually even worse than yesterday, but we know that Fermin Aldeguer, over the last laps of the race, he has a really good tire management, and he has usually he has this good perk and his huge quality that he's got a tire management which is really good. So I'm expecting him to pull in and to chip away actually. But the gap between Binder and Morbidelli is over 2 seconds right now. I don't know how he's gonna do it if he has any hope of getting on the podium. Right now, we've got 2 pairs behind Marc Marquez. Alex Marquez and Pedro and Pecco Bagnaia are lapping together as a couple, and the 2 KTM with Pedro Acosta trying to keep at bay Binder. 2 seconds and 3/10 for Morbidelli, who's really losing the pace out here, and I think he's getting into a crisis, a big crisis with his tires. Aldeguer right behind him, Tijan Antonio, Mir Vinales, who I thought he would get the job done, or Miller quicker. Fabio Quartararo, 11th position, Jack Miller in 12th, Bezzecchi 14th position, and I answer to you right now, but Asdrubale. No way! That's Brad Binder who crashed out. It's Brad Binder. It's Brad Binder who crashed out in 5th position at turn 4. Brad Binder crashed out while he was on a chase on Pedro Acosta, and the KTM team here, P1, you see, desperate. They're keeping their hands on their head because what he did right now was a huge mistake. I want to see the replay here. He, I think, entered very, very fast into the corner, and he just let it down, too much lean angle, and he flew away. But I tell you what, who is really smashing the stopwatch in here is Marc Marquez with a 1:46 and 2/10 of a second. That is overwhelming. That is bollocks, and that is unbelievable. Let me see here the pace of Marc Marquez with a 1:47 and 9, 1:47.4, 1:47.8, 1:47.5. He took it easy, and then he started to hammer it down. It was hammer time, 1:47 and 2, 1:47 and 1, 1:47 and 1, 1:47 and 1, and another 46 and 2, guys. He really, really smashed. He's lapping right now 1 second faster than anybody else on the grid. And Morbidelli, who's struggling with the tires, he sees Firmino, the guy right behind him, and I think he's not gonna crash here. He's not gonna have any problem. He's not really gonna struggle. Firmino to get a position on Morbidelli. We have the yellow flag at turn 1, and that's Fabio Quartararo. That's Fabio Quartararo, who was struggling a lot. He was battling out for 10th position together with Jack Miller. By the way, Jack Miller, who was overtaken by Bezzecchi. Fabio Quartararo here, who is waiting for everybody else actually to move. Ouch. He was struggling. He was struggling the whole weekend. Too bad for KTM. It doesn't happen often to be lately top in the top 5. Yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't happen often, actually. But it doesn't happen lately, but I think over the last 5 years. No, come on. I'm exaggerating, but a little bit over the last 2 years. Until Pedro Acosta last year was making some glue things. I don't understand here what's going on between Morbidelli and Firmino Aldeguer. They are seesawing together. 1 lap, Firmino Aldeguer is going faster than a lot, and Morbidelli is trying to pull away. I think he's trying to manage the tire, not to make the same mistake that he made 2 years ago. Sitting away here, cruising, is Marc Marquez, who's really struggling. He's not pushing at all. I think he's going 70% of what he could actually do. Pecco, he's really, really competitive right now. He's in the position actually there with him, Tardozzi, on the commentary of the MotoGP.com live streaming. He's trying to overtake. 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go. We'll see if Pecco Bagnaia can have a look at Alex Marquez. They are close to each other. So Morbidelli, Aldeguer, a little bit of a gap, and then we've got Tijan Antonio, a Honda, the first Honda of the grid actually, with Joan Mir in F position. I hope he's not going to send it to the gravel. And then we've got Maverick Vinales, who I thought it would take for him less time to get all these overtakes done. But we know how Maverick Vinales is not really learned it. Not really actually overtaking everybody, but He's in there, so either he's gonna do it with a really bold move like he did yesterday. He went wide. He went wide. We've got Dijan Antonio, Joan Mir, and Maverick Vinales in here. Then we've got Bezzecchi, who's got a little bit of a gap. I want to see how Bezzecchi is lapping. And in the meantime, Jack Miller is battling out with Bastianini, who's trying to overtake of him. Mir is really having a good race, and he's all over the place of the rear Ducati GP25 of Dijan Antonio. Yesterday, Dijan Antonio said that he was really struggling with his GP24, and I hope. Whoa, no, he can't make it here. He sends it. He sends it from Madrid, and he gets the overtake done. And I tell you what, Dijan Antonio here is putting on the jeopardy and on the threat. But the Ducati engine here is just going to show us how the difference it is between a Honda and a Ducati, and he's going to pull a move. He really overtook him halfway over the straight. He's gonna go wide. Dijan Antonio, no, he keeps it perfect and he gets the move back. But that engine is great for the Ducati. And Maverick Vinales getting away pretty hard. He's gonna try a move. He's gonna do it. Where is he going? He was never gonna make it. Come on, Madre mia, Maverick Vinales, you were never gonna make it. Then struggling a lot here right now, Dijan Antonio. I think that both Maverick Vinales and Joan Mir are going to get an overtake on him. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of pace because he's really struggling here. And I tell you, Joan Mir here is struggling also compared to the KM or Maverick Vinales. Oh, turn 7, exactly 3 years ago. Bastianini put the winning move on Pecco Bagnaia. He goes wide, Maverick Vinales, good parallel into him, and neck to neck. In the cast, he goes wide, Maverick Vinales. No way. Come on, man. Over the cast of 2 laps, Dijan Antonio lost 2 places, but Maverick Vinales bottled it out, as he always does. And he loses the position again after having gained it rightfully over Dijan Antonio. And there is a little bit of a skirmish here. And Bezzecchi is reducing the gap here between himself and these 3 riders. Let's have a look at the bottom positions with Bezzecchi in 10th, Raul Fernandez with the second Aprilia in 11th, not far away from each other, they're lapping together. Jack Miller in 12th position, Bastianini in 13th. Bezzecchi, who was in the 12th position, he's right now in 10th position. And there is a overtake over there. Let's see, that's Bastianini. Bastianini at turn 1 gets the overtake down Miller, and he gets the move done. Oh, come on, Bastianini. Up to 12th position. And Alex Rins here with the factory Yamaha, who has been nowhere throughout the weekend, is on the back of Jack Miller with a Prima Pramac Racing Yamaha. Joan Mir is pulling away here from Dijan Antonio. Maverick Vinales again on the back. He's really close to Dijan Antonio, who is starting to struggle a little bit. And really, Aldeguer cannot really get a move done on Morbidelli. So Morbidelli, I think, has settled the gap a little bit. And we are Morbidelli. No, 0.3 of a second. They're still lapping together. Marquez is lapping on 1:47 and 2. Let's have a look at how everybody lapped over the last lap. Franco Morbidelli reacting very well over the 2. (47 and 5, 47 and 4 for Pedro Acosta, 47 and 4 for Alex Marquez. Alex Marquez is doing another spot, 147 and 1, 147 and 7 for Franco Morbidelli, 147 and 4 for Firmino Aldeguer, who is actually as fast as the second leading pack of Pek Pagnaya, Alex Marquez, and Pedro Costa. Only if he had, what a shame, if he only had a good start and not struggling at the beginning, he would be playing for that position right now and for the podium, although. So, meaning that he would play around the podium. Joan Mir in 147 and 8, 148 rounded actually for teacher Antonio, and Maverick Vinales with 147 and 9. Bezzecchi 147 and 6, lapping 4 tenths per second of the riders right in front of him, but he is a long way away from them. He is 3 seconds. And Maverick Vinales gets the position on Bezzecchi. Maverick Vinales overtakes Dejan Antonio, and he moves up to 8th position. Augusto Fernandez in 15th position. Miguel Oliveira. Wow, that's really bad for Miguel Oliveira. My days. Being a MotoGP rider and being slower. I understand that you go like it's the second race after the injury as a recovery, but getting slower than Augusto Fernandez, who rides sporadically, that's for me pretty bollocks. And I tell you who is having a good performance in here. That's Sonke Chantra, who is lapping not super slow as he used as in Silverstone on the other play. Lorenzo Savadori latest. Fabio Quartararo crashed out. Brad Binder crashed out. And who has out the race is also Joan Zarco. Zaki is really getting closer to the Gian Antonio. Half a second away. And he was lapping 8 tenths of a second, 4 tenths of a second, and over the last lap, 1 second and 1/10 faster than Dejan Antonio. I think he's going to make out of it a really easy move, to be honest, guys. I don't see Dejan Antonio here answering and having a replay. Firmino Aldeguer on the slipstream of Franco Morbidelli for a long time, actually. Before the change of direction in here, right now into turn 10, he looks like really close. Oh, what a traction. What a traction, going all the way around the inside. Morbidelli going on the outside, but he's going breaking on the left. He's really forcing it. He keeps it tight. Oh, here in the change of direction, yes, he does it. Wow, that was brave. That was brave. Morbidelli doesn't have an answer on that. But Firmino Aldeguer with an answer. Oh, Morbidelli is going wide. He goes again. And now it's a 2 Ducati drag race until when they touch. And they touch on the straight at more than 300 kilometers per hour, and they're really close. We're going on to the last turning, and Morbidelli is up to inside. He keeps that position, and I think he's going wide, and he has a lot of experience. I think here this move and this place preserved by Morbidelli was out of the experience of 5 years under the belt on the MotoGP. Wow, here on turn 1, I didn't see the answer coming back from Morbidelli. He doesn't want to think. He doesn't want to have none of it. He doesn't have none of it, actually, of Aldeguer. He's been overtaken yesterday. He doesn't want to do the same mistake again today. But wow, guys, the tongue is coming out in here. Firmino Aldeguer, he is absolutely unplayable right now. Alex Marquez is really moving a little bit. He's getting a little bit of margin of a Pek Pagnaya, 1 second between the two. He laps in 146 and 9. And Pecco Bagnaia tried to replicate, but he went up 147 and 1. So he's really struggling to get close to it. It was a really good battle between the two. Firmino Aldeguer really felt he really spotted the place where he wanted to cross over the line with Franco Morbidelli. But then when it looked almost done, Franco really on the change of direction on the last corkscrew, on the last chicane, he really stopped and then took the straight line. And he was able to maintain the inner position coming into the last corner. Let's see if it's going to be a remake again right now. I see there is a little bit of striking distance between the two. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be now. Five laps to go. Oh. Bezzecchi on the Gian Antonio. He got the move done. Yeah, on the last chicane. Let me see that. Let's see if the Gian Antonio can answer here with the Bugatti engine. He can't. Tires are free-fall. Tires are overcooked. They are done in to stay. What a bombardier is the Aprilia right now, and I'm really sorry that Bezzecchi really messed it up yesterday in the qualifying. He could really be right now playing and battling for the third, second position right now at the moment with the Aprilia LSGP 2025. He's the personal best lap with Morbidelli 147 and 2, to defend himself from Aldeguer. He really took away from himself the last drop of blood in order and of talent to answer back. He really got it ready and then changed, and he got the move on the penultimate corner. This is a block pass. That was a block pass, but you can see in this maneuver here right now how the Gian Antonio, he doesn't have the full confidence with the handlebar and the bike. It's not really like pam pam, guys, like really going for it and being explosive. And Marc Marquez is here, shown by the cameras. Marc Marquez, who is dominating at the moment the race. No way! That's Maverick Vinales. That's Maverick Vinales. That's Maverick Vinales. What? That's Maverick Vinales. Yeah, you're right here. He lost in a blink of an eye, but I think because he's playing like he's like a shrimp, like going backwards. So that's why he's struggling a little bit, like the Pons. And I have I personally find the Gian Antonio more disappointing than other guy even on a GP25. Yeah, I think the same because I think so because Maverick Vinales is really disappointing here. It is the very first time that I see him crashing actually after a long time. So Maverick Vinales, the hope of getting 7th position, just gone pear-shaped. But I tell you what here, battling Bezzecchi in 8th position, really doing a fantastic race. I'm so damn mad at Bezzecchi because he can never nail the qualifying. Has Aprilia and Morbidelli put everything together, we would see a different championship right now for them. And most likely not the issues that we see right now trying to keep Jorge Martin. Best joined the fight for the 7th position. Yep, let's see how it's going to go. Joan Mir is in 7th position right now. I didn't see how far it was. Let me check again. It is 1.5 seconds between Joan Mir and Bezzecchi. The last lap was 147 rounded and 147.5 for Joan Mir. At that pace, if he keeps it that way, Bezzecchi will be over Joan Mir on the last lap, on the very last lap. Alex Marquez and 146.9. I think he managed the tires. Damn it. No swearing in here. No way. Okay. I think we're done and dusted, guys. Marc Marquez, 3 laps to go. Fastest lap of the race. 1:47, 46 and 7. The fastest lap of the race at the penultimate. 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go at the penultimate lap. And just to show you guys that he was managing. Bezzecchi 1:46.9. I think he's gonna catch Joan Mir over the next 2 days. But what a comeback from Bezzecchi! 12th position, game back. What a shame for Aprilia that they really got a bad start. Another good comeback was an Airbus Cianini, 5 positions plus. Alex Rins, 4 positions plus. And who lost some positions is Franco Morbidelli, who is top 5 right now, having started this race on 3rd position. But for me, Aldeguer, he's ready. He's ready with the track. So like he did yesterday, like he did on the first attempt, he's going to try it here. Yes, I think he's not going to go deep. He's really braking late. He keeps it, he closes it. If he closes it, it's a masterpiece. And that was a masterpiece. And he kept it. It's the same masterpiece the Morbidelli did before where he needed to answer him. And he did it. Let's see here if he can answer. Morbidelli is going to try to do it again the same. No way! I can't believe it. And again, it's giving it, and they touched. They touched. And they touched out to the out to the 15 corner. They touched. And I think the right foot of Morbidelli got tangled up with the chassis of Aldegar. That is a dirty affair between the two. Oh, no way. I tell you what, the left elbow of Aldegar touched the right knee of Morbidelli. They touched, and it was so good to see Morbidelli getting it really hasty and heavy here, putting a lot of hatred on this battle to keep the 5th position, and Aldegar going soft, but until a certain point. And this is the last lap for what it could be for Marc Marquez, the 8th win here at Aragon, what he could have a residency in here together with Phillip Island, Sachsenring, Austin, and to his masterpiece, we have only 5 laps to go. Maverick, that was a lonely race for Marc Marquez. He was absolutely in control of everything, and he goes in front of his standing at 10:14. He doesn't raise the hand. Really focused in here for the last chicane for Marc Marquez. A magic weekend for him. A hat trick on the cards. A pole position. All practices dominated. He's slowing down right now. He's not going to push because he says, I don't want to make any mistake. The pressure is getting on over the last corner. And Marc Marquez is going to snatch the 8th win of his career here at Aragon. This Ducati on his hands looks flawless, and Marc Marquez wins the Aragon Grand Prix, and he dominates once again. Marc Marquez hat-trick and wins the Aragon Grand Prix ahead of Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. 4th position comes home, the first KTM with Pedro Acosta. 5th position for Morbidelli, who keeps at bay a rampart Aldegar. Joan Mir in 7th position. Bezzecchi in 8th. Pedro Antonio in 9th. Fernandez in 10th. And that's your top 10. Alex Rins 11th. Fenea Bastianini 12th position. Augusto Fernandez in 13th. Jack Miller 14th. Miguel Oliveira 15th. Somkia Chantra 16th position. And 17th, a last of the riders who go into the finish line, Lorenzo Savadori. Didn't finish the race, Maverick Vinales, Fabio Quartararo, Brad Binder, and Joan Zarco. This is your Aragon race, guys. Marc Marquez dominates, cruises, and as a piece of a cake, he wins the Aragon Grand Prix. You're welcome, Glenwood. Just make sure you subscribe and so on, and don't miss any video that I'm doing. Today I'm going to shoot a video piling up and summing up actually this race, so don't miss it out. Great commentary, Abdul. Thank you guys. That's it. Marc Marquez extends his lead on the championship over his brother and Pecco Bagnaia. How many times we've seen this podium actually over the year. Pedro Acosta finally a KTM competitive in the top position. Franco Morbidelli keeping very tight and keeping an amazing and a rampant Fermin Aldegar. Joan Mir with the first of the Honda 7th position. Bezzecchi, who I'm really mad at. If he only gets qualifying right, he could really be fighting week in, week out for the first 5 position. 9th position for Dijon Antonio, struggling at the end, and Raul Fernandez in 10th position. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for following the live commentary. I hope you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share it with whomever, everybody you think is going to be interested in MotoGP. This is the channel that really suits you and all your desires. This is Racing by Abdul. Until next time, I'll see you this evening with an Italian commentary. Can be also in English, depending on how many people are following. And we try to summarize an Aragon Grand Prix who gave us the answers to the questions that we knew. With Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez owning the MotoGP at the moment, and Pecco Bagnaia today showing up a little bit of muscle and coming back strong. This is Racing by Abdul. Until next guy, you folks, and I'll see you for the next round, who's going to be in Mugello in marvelous Italy. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.